Friday, June 26th, and I'm gonna make this pretty short. By the way, this is the video log that takes 30,000 to a million. I made a video not too long ago, but it was corrupted. It had some problems. Thanks for the commenters who pointed it out real quick. So I took it down, and so I'm not gonna remake it because it's like a 20-minute video. It's really long, so I'm just gonna run you through the account really quick, and I'm gonna just tell you some of the benefits and drawbacks of selling long-term options versus short-term options, because you guys know I like to sell options a lot. So without further ado, I'm not gonna drag it out. Here it is, 92,634 in the account, doing all right. There's some kind of a bug as well with Robinhood, and I have to switch on show today's gains each time, and it's added these scroll bars for some reason. If you guys know how to fix this, please let me know in the comments. If you're interested in the positions, here's the symbol, and then the strike price right next to it, expiration date, and the type of contract and how many contracts I have. So you can, as always, pause the browser at any moment so you can review the position if you're really interested in everything that I hold and everything that I'm playing right now. Some of the biggest gainers was Apple, of course, Cameco, and silver, gold. All right, moving on. That was quick, right? Moving on to the topic, which is selling long-term options versus selling short-term options. So some of the benefits of selling long-term options are that it provides less work. When you're selling short-term options, you have to constantly roll them over, and you have to try to work the trade, meaning you're trying to get the best price for the option that you're selling. And so not only you working the trade, but then another drawback of short-term option selling versus long-term is that you have to worry about how it fits in with your overall account diversification and percentages. It's much easier to do it with long-term options because you know what you got for at least 6 months or maybe a year. You know what you have, and you know what it represents in your account. You don't have to worry about throwing off and being too heavy on emerging markets or being too heavy on technology and whatnot. So you just know that you have that position. It kind of acts like almost an equity position that you just have to sell, 6 months or a year later. But if it changes week to week and you're having to roll things over, then the balance gets thrown off. Another benefit to long-term options is that besides having to roll over every week and also not working the trade and also being more secure in the balances, that you get that premium money up front, and you can actually re-roll it into other things if the amount is large enough. So that's also a benefit. And the other thing is that you get the weekends, right? So when you're doing short term, you're selling on Monday, and then you buy it back on Friday, or it expires on Friday, and then you have to wait till Monday in order to initiate another trade. But this way you're taking advantage of the weekends as well, and weekends are time, so options do depreciate during the weekends as well. That's not to say that long-term options depreciate more. It's just to say that it's a balancing out tool that helps you make more money. It kind of balances out the deficiency that long-term options have versus short-term. Obviously the theta in short-term is much better. So I do both. I do long-term and short-term. Now, in the long term, you also, or I just mentioned, you have to do less calculations and stuff like that. Okay, what else can I say? The benefits of the short term is just really the price. So you get basically more money, but it's just a little bit more work, and that's the way it is. I really like selling long term options because I treat it like as a consistent stream of liability erasure. And so I know that even if the rest of the account is kind of volatile, that money is gonna act kind of like as an inflow. Okay, it's like you're depositing, 20, 30, $50 each day from all these options that are being sold long term. And so it really helps to smoothen out the ride. Now, you won't be able to see that too much, right? Because this account is pretty volatile, but it'd be even more volatile if it wasn't for these options. I want to show you and just run through like a regular example just so you can see how I would run a calculation or a judgment call if I want to sell longer term options. So I'm looking to accumulate. So when you're selling puts, the main thing is that you want to be okay with either side of the equation. And when the premium is high enough that you want to earn that money on the collateral and you're okay with holding the asset at a certain price, and that desire intersects with the opportunity cost, right? Because $1,000 can be used in many different ways. You don't have to buy a $10 $10 stock put option. You don't have to sell it. There are many other options that you could do. You could just buy some stock. You can do whatever. You can buy a call, right? So in order for that to work out, when the intersection is greater, when the opportunity cost is, you're willing to forego it in order to collect that 0.5%, 1% per week or per month, then you pull the trigger. So let me go through an example here. So here's O, which is realty income, and I'm going to go to trade options, and I'm going to pick a really far out date, maybe let's say January 15, 2021. So currently the share price is 59. I would love to own it around 50. And so I see the $50 put here is worth $1,260, right? So am I willing to put away $5,000 and earn, that's actually a pretty good deal, and earn, over 25.2%, okay, for 7 months. I mean, that sounds actually like a pretty good deal. I might do this. I just stumbled upon it, but it looks promising. So I definitely would. So I might actually just buy a couple of these, and the way I make the calculation is I divide it by the number of months. So let's say there's 6 months left. So I would divide 1,200 by 6. So that means, $200 per month. And the collateral that I would have to give up is, 5,000. So I would divide that 200 by 5 in order to get what I would be getting per 1,000. So I like to make the calculations per 1,000. So by dividing by 5, that gives me $40. So $40 is 4%. 4% per month is actually fantastic. So if I'm happy about owning O at $50, I should be happy. It should be enough to compensate, right? So 4%, just in case it goes down, right? Just in case it goes sour, and if the trade goes down to 40, if O goes down to 40, I'd be down, 10% per stock. I mean, $10 per stock on my position. So I have to be okay with that, right? This can compensate a little bit for it, but sell put. Okay, new mistake. This is actually it's actually 400. So divide that by 3. It's like $12 per thousand, which is 1.2%. So instead of 4%, 1.2%. Sorry, new mistake. I didn't switch those sell to put. It's kind of late, so I'm tired and having to redo this video, so it's a bit. Anyway, so $415 per contract, 1.2%. So am I okay with collecting 1.2% per month per thousand for 7 months? And that money is going to be locked away. And if the price goes below 50, am I okay at owning it at 45 or 40 and paying 50 for it? And if the answer is yes, then I go ahead and pull the trigger. So that's how I make the calculation, right? Take the numbers, figure it out how much it is per thousand, and see if that dollar amount is satisfactory for me. Or you can think of it as percentages. You can find out your own way to calculate it, but this really helps you make a better judgment about what I want to do. And I also sell long-term calls, and the same thought process goes there. Am I happy by selling the security at a certain price? And if the answer is yes, then I pull the trigger. Like for example, EWU, this is the United Kingdom ETF. You can see I have sold a call, and it's currently worth $63, and that's all gonna go down to zero come 10/16. So am I happy? It's a $28 strike. Am I happy if this fund gets sold at $28 if that happens? Yes. And am I happy at owning it if the price drops and collecting those $63? Yes. So I'm okay with both sides of the scenario. So if I'm okay with both sides of the trade, then I have no reason not to do it. Yeah. So that's my thought process. That's how I make my judgments. And if you have any questions about it, or you want to let me know how you do your process when selling options or buying or whatever, let me know in the comments. It'll be a fun discussion, and I'm always down to learn. Okay, pretty tired. So I'm going to end it right there. Told you it's going to be short, but I'll make another one on Monday. All right, that's it for now. Peace out.